Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. The Tigers and Royals series has provided a few walk-off endings and more than a few close games. 23 of the 34 games decided by 2 or fewer runs since the start of last year. Guess what? We expect a close series here this weekend. We welcome you to Comerica Park. Game 1 in this 3-game series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the visiting Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us. Glad to be back home, and good to have the Royals in town. This is going to be a dynamite series, you would think, Ron, especially when these two teams seem to fight it out tooth and nail.
Well, the Royals, for the most part, they've kind of had the Tigers' numbers this year. What Detroit needs to do tonight is score a bunch of runs. That way they can negate this very speedy Kansas City Royals team. When Tigers have big leads, they don't run as much.
All right, how about Justin Verlander? Over the years, Verlander has really controlled these Royals pretty well. He'll hope to do the same thing again here tonight.
You know, Justin Verlander's last start, he took the loss against the Kansas City Royals, and he really only made one bad pitch, and it really wasn't that bad a pitch. It was a gopher ball that Salvador Perez hit out of the ballpark. But one thing Verlander must do, he must limit the big hits that the Royals get against him. His stuff was electric last time out. 99 with a fastball, good change, good curve. He also has that really good slider, and that's what Justin Verlander will need to do here this evening. One other thing Justin will need to do, stay away from Billy Butler. This much is just in. He can hit you. If there's runners in scoring position, don't pitch to this guy.
Stay away from Billy Butler. We got it. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Justin White. Coming up in this one tonight, how about the Prince? Over 400 in his last 13 games. He's red hot. Tigers-Royals, Game 1. Next. ballpark, the Tigers and Royals tonight is Pink Out the Park night, breast health awareness here at the ballpark this evening, and we were glad as well to participate with our pink ties here this evening. So this should be a fun night of baseball. The Royals in town and what should be a great series. The Royals starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Alex Gordon, Emilio Bonifacio, and Eric Hosmer are the top three. They've got Butler, Perez, and Moustakas in the middle of their lineup, and David Lowe, Alcides Escobar, and Gerard Dyson rounding it out. They will face Justin Verlander, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Verlander making his 31st season of the year, looking for win number 13. The ERA sits at 3.64. Not a whole lot of luck this year against Kansas City, but overall, his body of work in his career against them, he's done major damage against them. He's been outstanding against Kansas City.
All right, two teams battling for a playoff spot. We are underway tonight as Alex Gordon looks at strike one from Verlander. Gordon batting .271 with 19 home runs this year. The Tigers, by and large, though, have done good work against him. Only a .215 batting average versus Detroit pitching. The 0-1 is swung on and missed, and now it's 0-2.
Gordon must have been looking for something off speed, usually not late on a 93-mile-per-hour fastball, and he's talking to himself right now.
7-game hitting streak for the Royals leadoff man. Verlander ready with the 0-2. And he missed it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Once the Royals find themselves a legitimate leadoff hitter, one that they really feel confidence in, a guy that has a high on-base percentage, more than likely Gordon the kind of guy that could bat down a little bit further in the middle of your batting order.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Takes more than just speed at the top, doesn't it? I mean, you need a guy that's going to get on base and set the table.
He does a nice job. He's got a nice mix of power, but they need him in the middle of the order with Hosmer and Butler and Perez for them to take that next step.
Ned Yost has his team playing some really good baseball. They have since the All-Star break. And a foul tip and dropped at home plate, so Gordon's still alive.
It's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now, led by their manager Ned Yost in his 4th season as their skipper, former big league manager for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he also spent about a decade on the staff of the future Hall of Famer Bobby Cox.
Again, the 2-2. Lifted in the air toward left center field. This ball is hit well, but it's playable. Dirks going back and 1 gone.
Let's set the Tigers defensive alignment for you this evening. Dirks is in left field. Austin Jackson's in center field. Jackson has committed just 2 miscues in his last 147 games. Torrey Hunter in right, Miggy and Prince on the corners of the infield, Iglesias and Fonte up the middle, and Alex Avila. He's been hot behind that plate, swinging that stick. He gets the catching nod here this evening.
So Emilio Bonifacio will step in now with 1 out. And Verlander misses high and away. We're seeing the results of speed, or the byproduct of speed. Miguel Cabrera is in tight at third on the grass.
Bonifacio really hasn't been that good this year, batting average wise, .242, but nearly .300 against Detroit, and they really have to keep him off the base paths. He really gets your attention. He steals a lot of bags.
Well, he's a guy that has performed well since coming over to the Royals. .304 in a KC uniform. He has stolen some bases, 13 in a Royals uniform. There's a strike call. 2-1 on Bonifacio.
Ned Yost said when they acquired Bonifacio from the Toronto Blue Jays, a Blue Jays team that was really struggling, he said he gave them instant life and energy.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ooh, we tried to hold up. That was an ugly swing.
Apparently the Royals have come out looking for off-speed pitches against Justin Verlander, because that's 2 awkward swings at 2 fastballs shown by Gordon and now Bonifacio.
Eric Hosmer will be next. Verlander ready with the 2-2 offering. Fly ball left field. Routine for Andy Dirks. He'll handle the first 2 opportunities of the game. 2 up, 2 down. Hey, you know what's back, Rod? Our special slow-mo camera located on the low first base side for tonight's game is called Phantom Cam, which shoots up to 5,000 frames per second. Other cameras shoot about 30 frames per second, so that's how slow we really are able to slow it down.
Nice shots there.
And it provides us with some of the more dramatic shots. And we'll have that at our disposal this weekend. Looking forward to that. Strike called on Hosmer.
All of a sudden, Eric Hosmer steps in that batter's box, and the first fastball Justin Verlander throws him is 95. But you need to have a little giddy up on your fastball against him these days. He's been one of your better offensive performers in the league the last 2 months.
He drives this one in the air deep into left field. Dirks goes to the wall to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. Scoreless here tonight. The Royals go 1-2-3. The Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and for Detroit it'll be Jackson, Hunter, Cabrera, your top three. No changes there. Likewise, Fielder cleaning up, and Martinez, Dirksen left, and your bottom three tonight is Infante Avila and Iglesias, and they are facing the left-handed offerings of Bruce Chen.
Bruce Chen having a very nice season, 7-2 in the 11 starts with a sub-3 ERA. Not going to overpower you with his fastball. It's going to be around 87, but he really moves it around. He complements the fastball with a curve, a slider, and a changeup.
First pitch is lined to left field down the line. This might be extra bases here for Jackson. He's on his way to second. Ball gets by the left fielder Gordon. AJ going for three, and the throw is off target. And the Tigers are in business early in this one.
Austin Jackson jumped on the first fastball out of Bruce Chen's hands, and Gordon in left field has not committed an error all year long. I don't know if this is going to be error number one, but that ball kind of gets away from him. Usually doubles are down the left field line, not triples. Jackson hustling, saw the play in front of him, able to get to third base standing up.
One pitch into the game, the Tigers have a runner at third base, and here is Hunter trying to score him. And a ground ball deep in the hole. It's short. This will get the run in. Escobar's throw is in time, but the run comes in.
This is an exciting team, the Kansas City Royals, and of course the Tigers are a really good big league team too. What a throw there by Escobar, flat-footed, to get Torrey Hunter. I'm talking about he has one of your better throwing arms from this position in the game. Flat-footed.
That was just an amazing play. I mean, you get caught in the fact that the run scored on that play, and you kind of ignore the fact that was really well done. Tigers coming out swinging the bats. Cabrera will ground out to Moustakas.
I don't think they really appreciated the fact that Bruce Chen had a tremendous amount of success against them 5 days ago. He pretty much had his way with the Tigers, and he matched up with Justin Verlander in that start last week in Kansas City.
Tigers have swung at the first pitch, first three straight batters. Chen went 7, gave up 2 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 4 in that defeat of the Tigers. They have ruled a double and an error on Gordon.
First error of the year for Alex Gordon.
1 ball, no strikes as Fielder takes a pitch. There it is, error number 1, and here we are in September the 13th before he gets his first error.
He's still going to win a Gold Glove this year. That's just how good he's been since he's been a left fielder. He has set the standard out there. He's an outstanding two-way player. He's already won two Gold Gloves. It'll be number 3 this offseason.
1 ball, 1 strike on Prince Fielder. He hit 400 on the recent road trip. And he shoots that one back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It was nice to see Prince produce the way that he did on the current road trip because Miggy, as you all know, had been slowed down. Boston, Kansas City, and also in Chicago.
That's what makes this lineup so dynamic. There's always someone to pick you up if you're having an off week. There's a wave and a miss. Fielder goes down, and that'll end the inning. But the Tigers get a quick run as we go to the 2nd.
Well, one of the things that Verlander was able to do by getting the side out in order in the first inning, that's face Billy Butler with nobody on base, because Billy Butler career numbers against Justin Verlander are staggering. 431, 28 for 65, and it really doesn't matter what JV throws up there. It could be the 99-mile-per-hour fastball. It could be the breaking ball that's located beautifully outside or down in the zone. Big bad Billy Butler's just kind of had his way with coming into this season, arguably on a lot of people's list, the top pitcher in baseball.
So with a 1-0 lead, Verlander back to the hill now as we go to the top of the 2nd. Butler batting .291. And tonight is his 1,000th career game in a Royals uniform. 14 homers this year, 75 RBIs. He said Verlander well, but really Tigers pitching overall very well. Shatters his bat, and that's going to go foul third base side. Not a whole lot left to that bat.
There's a whole lot of splintered pieces of wood out in front of home plate. That bat boy's got some work to do, picking up all them little bitty pieces. That's what they call getting in your kitchen.
1 ball, 1 strike on Butler. 3 fly ball outs to left field is how this one started tonight. The Royals went 1-2-3.
All those fly balls came off of left-handed batters as well, so they were a little tardy on the Justin Verlander fastball in the first.
1-1 is pulled, foul. Is there anything in Butler's approach that makes him so successful against a guy that typically has dominated most other hitters?
He has great balance. He has that little toe tap. He gets set soon, a lot like Miguel Cabrera. Very seldom do you see him off balance. Tremendous hand-eye coordination, and he's got supreme confidence when going up against Verlander on most nights.
Guess what? Another base hit.
He just can't get him out.
Leadoff single for Billy Butler. And the Royals have their first base runner of the game.
And he threw Billy Butler 2 good fastballs inside. Shattered his bat on one, and then he jammed him on the next one. And then somehow Billy Butler's able to hit a curveball.
Here is Salvador Perez.
Hit a big home run against Justin Verlander. Verlander's last start really was the difference in the game. That last game in Kansas City.
2-run shot in the 6th inning that broke a tie. One of the 11 home runs this year Perez has.
And it came on a 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
Here's the 0-1. Down the left field line. That ball is hooking, and it will land foul. And skitter back into the seats. 0-2 on Salvador Perez. Missed by a pretty good margin. 375 in this month of September for Perez. He is finishing strong. And a solid 285 batting average overall this year. Swing and a miss. That time Verlander got him to chase. One gone.
Back-to-back breaking balls for Justin Verlander. He took his foot off the gas pedal just a little bit on that second one, and that's the reason why Perez was fooled and out in front of that curveball that was located at the bottom of the zone.
First strikeout of the ball game tonight for Verlander. That'll bring up Mike Moustakas. And he takes strike one. It has been a rough start to the month for Moustakas, coming off a really good month of August in which he hit over 300, but he only has 5 hits this month. Batting just 132 in the month of September. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Came to the big leagues as a very highly touted prospect. Minor league player of the year 1 year in the minor leagues for the Royals.
Once he starts to use left field a little bit more often, that batting average will go from 232 to about 265, 270. And he's got plenty of power in that bat, but he just pulls everything. He's way too pull happy. That front shoulder flies off the baseball way too often for Moustakas.
In front of the count here, 2 balls, 1 strike. 39 RBIs this year for Moustakas. And he pops it up. Left side of the infield. Cabrera's under it. And there are 2 gone.
Wanted to revisit the base hit in Phantom Cam off the bat of Billy Butler. And we were talking about the fact that he gets set so early. He's got great balance throughout his swing. And you can draw an imaginary line right down the center of his body from the bill of the cap to the floor. And that's the definition of a guy really having good balance throughout the swing.
The leadoff single is still standing at first base. 2 outs now for David Lowe. Ball 1 high. 96 there from JV.
Verlander had great stuff in his last start against Kansas City. The fastball got up to 99. He threw some good curves, good changeups. Really just the 1 home run that Perez hit was the difference, and the fact that Bruce Chen was able to handcuff the Tigers hitters.
I remember early in that game you commenting it looks like Verlander has brought his A game here tonight, and it really did. But that 1 home run by Perez turned the game around. Here are the final numbers in that Saturday loss to the Royals.
That has been the difference in a lot of the meetings between the 2 teams this year. They've played 8 one-run games. Kansas City has won 6 of the 8.
and they just get that one big homer, that one big hit, that one big stolen base. It's been a really tough matchup for Detroit all year.
And it also speaks to their bullpen as well, able to save those close games. Ugh. There's the 1-1. He left the strike zone there, 1-2. David Lowe batting here with 2 outs. It is 1-0 Detroit. Tigers got a run in the first. The Royals have allowed 92 first inning runs, second most in the majors. Now the 1-2. 283 batting average for Lowe. Sits safely in his last 3, trying to get it to Alcides Escobar waiting on deck. Big series for both of these teams. Obviously much bigger for Kansas City as they chase the wild card spot. There's a bouncing ball right side. This will be routine for Infante, and that'll end the inning. No runs. A leadoff single is stranded.
The park. The Tigers partnering with Carmanis Cancer Institute. My friend here, Annette, a 2-time breast cancer survivor. Isn't it awesome to see all the pink here at Comerica Park tonight? Everybody's just rallying around this cause.
It's wonderful. It's unbelievable. The difference from the first time I've had cancer, the 8 years later, the treatment was so much simpler. So it's wonderful that everybody puts their just everything into it to make it easier on cancer survivors.
Well, congratulations on being cancer-free. Enjoy the rest of the game. And you know what, guys? 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer throughout their lifetime here in the United States. It was amazing before the game to see all the survivors and people that are currently seeking treatment out on the field, walking around. It's a great event that they do here at Comerica Park. I'll send it back up to you, Mario and Rod.
All right, Shannon, thanks. Yeah, and that's why it's really awesome to see events like this at the ballpark and so many people getting into it. Certainly a great cause and certainly trying to knock out a very bad disease as Martinez lines out for the first out. There's a lot of the pink, and they pink out the ballpark tonight. Pink T-shirts all over the place. Rod and I have our pink ties on.
I saw pink Converse. People walking around. Pink. I've got pink socks on tonight.
Well,
we're getting into it.
We're going to have to take a look at those socks before the night's over.
You got your pink socks on?
No, I don't. Just the tie. My closet's not as deep as yours is when it comes to really nifty clothes. Andy Dirks stepping in, and he sends a ground ball back up the middle. Bonifacio, tough play, but he's going to pull it off the bag.
One of the reasons why Andy Dirks is in the lineup today against the left-handed Bruce Chen is the fact that Chen holds right-handers to a .215 batting average. Left-handers They hit 265 against him, so Andy Dirks got the nod tonight from Jim Leland, and he gets himself an infield single.
What's new? He came in batting .374 career against KC. Chen, 215 versus righties, 256 versus lefties. So there you go. Here's Omar Infante.
Chen is one of those guys that can work the 4 quadrants of the fastball with the zone with the fastball. He only tops out about 87, but he's got pretty good control with it. Changes speeds, changes arm angles. He's not afraid to pitch inside.
Infante batting .320. He had 11 hits on the recent road trip for Detroit. And Omar had the biggest night of his career in that Friday game in Kansas City. 5 hits, 6 RBIs.
Also had a big base hit the last day. The Tigers were able to win that 1-0 game against the Chicago White Sox. Big hit by Omar Infante.
1 ball, 1 strike on Infante. The Tigers, unlike the Royals, will not run all that often. And we know that by now. But Kansas City has 8 men with 10 or more steals. The Tigers do not have 1. So there's a difference in the way they get it done.
Not only are they very good at stealing bases, they don't get thrown out very much. I mean, they're about 83% as far as the success rate is concerned when the Kansas City Royals do decide to steal a bag.
Dirks is the Tigers' top stealer along with Jackson. They each have 7. One ball, 1 strike on Infante. Ground ball to short. Escobar gobbles it up to second one. Bonifacio's relay is safe. It was high, and Hosmer apparently took his big toe off the bag.
And Bonifacio pulled him off the bag. Eric Hosmer, he stands about 6 feet 3 inches. He stepped up and stretched out. He tried to stay on it, but apparently, and John Hirschbeck, who is a first base umpire, said, nope, you came off.
You got to throw it high to miss that target. Bonifacio did. Close play, but Infante is safe at first base. Here's Avila. Alex is 9 for his last 16.
Alex has gotten himself in a lot of really friendly fastball counts in the last month or so, and when he has gotten himself in those counts where he's looking for the fastball, he's been able to do some damage with that pitch. You got to be careful with Chen. He has 5 pickoffs this year. Only Mark Burley of the Toronto Blue Jays has more. Burley has 6, so you can't get off first base too far if you're Omar Infante.
Tigers got a run in the first. Jackson at third, and a ground out by Hunter scored it. In there for a strike, 1 and 2 on Avila.
A lot of room down that third baseline for Avila. If Chen does throw him something down and away, he might be able to just trickle something down in that left field corner for a base hit. As far as Moustakas, their third baseman is playing off that line.
And the 1-2. Driven toward left field on a line straight at Gordon, though. That'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. 2 in the books on Pink Out the Park night here at Comerica. Tigers still on top, 1-0. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Jeep, rediscover the freedom of the open road at the Jeep Celebration events. And by Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, the best to you each morning. It is a cool night here at the ballpark tonight. 58 degrees was our game time temp. The Tigers got a run in the first inning. And as we go to the third now, Justin Verlander back to the hill. Alcides Escobar leads it off. And he swings to the first pitch and skies into the air left side of the infield. Iglesias on the grass by a step, one gone. There have been times this year where Verlander's pitch count has been elevated early, but so far so good here tonight. Those one pitch outs will certainly help. Here is Gerard Dyson, who was just 4 for 21 versus Tigers pitching this year. Dyson could bunt, has 7 bunt hits, and he shows it but pulls it back, strike one. Pretty good ratio early on here. Verlander pounding the strike zone. And he does it again, 0-2. Safe to say a couple of really important starts down the stretch here for JV.
No doubt about that. You take any pressure off Jim Leyland as he sets his postseason roster when the Tigers do get there. That seems to be the million-dollar question here in Detroit. If the Tigers do get to the postseason, who is Jim Leyland going to name as his #1 starter?
Now the 1-2 pitch. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And it's nice to have options, and he's got a lot of options down there.
He sure does.
Can't go wrong with any one of them.
Mr. Sanchez in the middle has been awfully good all season long. Fister,
Max.
The 2-2 is fouled straight back. Some of that probably depends on matchups, who that first round matchup would be. As it stands right now, it would be Oakland, but we still have about 2 weeks worth of games to go yet.
That A's team is kind of scary right now.
Yeah, they're getting it done. Lifted in the air, shallow left field, long run for Dirks. Likewise Iglesias, and neither can get it. So what would it look like if we started the playoffs today? Well, Boston would take on the winner of the wild card. Tigers would open up against the A's. And over in the National League, you would have 3 National League Central Division teams: Cardinals, Reds, and Pirates. And boy, the Dodgers have really been a remarkable story out on the West Coast. 2-2 on Gerard Dyson. Spoiled one to stay alive.
And one of the ways they've been able to get Dyson out is they've been able to get him out on that front foot with good changeups, good breaking balls. And when you're a table setter, as is Dyson is, and you're a guy that can really run, they don't ever want to walk you, so they always throw you lots of fastballs. But the Tigers don't. They get him out with off-speed stuff.
Swing and a miss.
Fastball that time.
Game break time. Let us check in with Justin White. All right, Justin, thanks. So the Tigers' magic number remains 11 pending the outcome of this one here tonight, and their lead on Cleveland is 5.5 now in Central. It could go back up to 6 if the Tigers win here this evening. The best the Tigers can do tonight is shave that magic number down to 10.
Chicago White Sox, they just cannot beat the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland has taken the last 9 contests from the White Sox.
Gordon takes the ball high, 1-1 the count. Flat out to left field to start the game. .271 batting average for Gordon. One and two. Checked it down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Verlander surrendered a single in the second, but no damage. The only base runner so far for KC. Bonifacio waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a fastball. 96 miles an hour, and through the lens of Phantom Cam, Verlander picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game. Perfect delivery. Perfect.
And Tigers with an early lead in this contest. They scored their run back in the first inning. Jackson tripled, and then he was able to score in that first inning. 35 assists from the outfield of this year for the Kansas City Royals, which is second most in the American League. They also have some athletic players up the middle in Escobar and Bonifacio. Hosmer over at first base can really swing that stick. And Perez behind the dish as one of your better throwing arms for any catcher in the game.
Jose Iglesias leads it off for Detroit here in the 3rd. It'll be Iglesias, Jackson Hunter facing Bruce Chen. Line drive, foul. Left field line. 0-2 on Iglesias. 2 out of 4 in his career in limited at-bats against Chen, and one of those was a home run.
Looked like the Tigers were going to take over that game when Bruce Chen faced them last time out. That was the only damage Tigers were able to do against him.
Even a miss. He got him that time. 2nd strikeout of the game now for Chen. Now the top of the order, Austin Jackson. Tigers started this game by swinging at the first 3 pitches of this ball game. Jackson got a double. Hunter grounded out to score the run, and then Cabrera grounded out. There was also an error mixed in there. Ball 1 high to Austin. AJ has hit safely in 11 of his last 12 games. Now 12 of 13 if you count tonight. High chop to 3rd where Moustakas is waiting. 2 gone. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you will get a free small order of curly fries. Here's Hunter now with 2 outs. RBI back in the first via a ground ball. And really a terrific play by Escobar, who had to go to the hole to get it and then throw him out by a step. Torrey now 73 RBIs. Little chopper hit slowly and foul.
When you start talking about the two shortstops on the field here tonight, you have two of the best, most athletic shortstops in the game. You talked about that play that kid made, but I'm sure Iglesias will do something in the next 3 days which would also get our attention.
Escobar is a high flyer as well. Great arm, great range.
Different body types. Long, rangy body for Escobar, their shortstop, with a really good arm. Iglesias has the quick feet, quick release, accuracy with his arm.
Here's the 1-1. 1-2 now on Hunter. Bruce Chen is 36 years old. He is out of Panama City, Panama. And the 1-2. Floats outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck.
Miggy was out taking some extra batting practice today, trying to find that swing again.
Down goes Hunter. And Chen has his 3rd strikeout. It's a 1-2-3 third.
Here is today's high-speed stat, and it's brought to you by Charter Internet. 2,179 strikes thrown so far this season by Verlander, which is the most in the major leagues. And also, he's thrown over 3,300 pitches, which is 3rd most. So that tells me that once Justin Verlander is filling up that strike zone, and 2, most starts staying out there quite a while and throwing well over 100 pitches every outing.
Well, he goes to work here in the 4th, having thrown just 43 total pitches. They're in at the corner, 3rd base. That would be Cabrera's. Bonifacio stands in. And he looks at ball 1 to start things off here in the 4th. Bonifacio, then Hosmer, and then Butler. These would be 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for Ned Yost. Here's Justin's 1-0. Hit toward the shortstop and out of the reach of Iglesias into left. Leadoff single here in the 4th inning for KC. Their 2nd hit of the ball game.
Here's where they start to get your attention with their speed. Bonifacio has stolen 13 bases with his new club. He's only been caught once, but he has 25 total steals this year.
Hosmer flat out to left his first time up, deep to left field, as a matter of fact, and he looks at a strike right at the knee.
Talked about this in Tigers Live before the game today. This is what the Royals have done against the Tigers this year. They get speed on, and that divides the attention. between the base runner and the hitter if you're the pitcher. And then all of a sudden that pitcher will make a mistake, and guys like Hosmer, guys like Butler, they can do damage against you.
The American League average is 87 stolen bases. The Royals well above that as they lead the league. And this is a KC team that has swiped 52 bases in their last 31 games. So they've really poured it on in terms of running more in the last month or so. Well, tied for the second most in the major league since August 1st, Bonifacio. Oh, and 1 on Eric Hosmer. It's 1-0 Detroit here in the fourth. Another throw. Sweep tag not in time.
Don't know for sure, but if you're Jim Leyland and you have an idea that Bonifacio is going to go on one of the next 2 pitches, you simply help Avila out with a pitch out. But if you're Verlander, you need to get the ball into Avila's glove in a hurry to give him a chance to throw Bonifacio out. He is going to run.
There he goes. Here comes the throw, and the tag is right on the money. Got him. What a throw by Avila.
And a curveball. Once I saw the ball spinning out of Verlander's hand, I didn't think Avila would have an opportunity, but look at the nifty quick shift of the body by Avila, getting that shoulder on target down towards second base, and he threw that ball right on the bag.
He needed a perfect throw, and he got one. And Bonifacio is out. There's a little ground ball toward third base, and no chance for Cabrera, so it'll be an infield hit for Hosmer. 1 on, 1 out.
Phantom Cam is a thing of beauty.
That is the 9th runner this year that Avila has caught trying to steal. He and Pena each have 9. So now here is Butler with 1 on, 1 out.
And Verlander looking for a ground ball here. Billy Butler has grounded into 21 double plays this season.
Butler hitting over 300 this month, 326 in September. Hosmer, although not the same type of base runner Bonifacio is, will swipe a bag on. In fact, he has 11 this year in 15 attempts.
Eric Hosmer might just be your most athletic first baseman in the game, as far as his ability to swing that bat. The glove, the hands are soft, and you just brought up the fact that he has 11 steals.
%73% this year for Hosmer. Way high. 3-0.
Well, Verlander's got a couple of open bases, and it appears that he's just not going to try to get Billy Butler out, because he has been filling up that strike zone with consistent strikes all night long, and then all of a sudden Billy Butler steps up there and he misses with the first 3.
Swing and a miss. He took a rip on 3-0. Jim Leyland often talks about how there are times when either the batter or the pitcher might have a mental edge on the other based on recent history, and this might be one of those battles where maybe Butler has the mental edge on Verlander.
Good off-speed pitch here, though, will get the 6-4-3 double play. Yeah, Billy Butler, after the 96-mile-per-hour fastball, will probably be just a hair out in front of it. And if Justin Verlander doesn't allow Hosmer to vacate first base, he can get himself out of the inning with just 1 pitch.
Fouled back out of play, 3-2. 97 that time from Justin. Now 439 against Verlander with a couple of homers.
That's no small sampling either.
Cleveland beat the White Sox today 3-1. Tigers' magic number remains 11. Trying to get it down to 10 with a victory here tonight. Runner goes and a ground ball to third. And Cabrera will throw Butler out, so they stay out of the double play. 2 gone, runner at second. And by the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game. It is presented by the new Quarter Pounder BLT. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338. Two down now for Salvador Perez. He chases one up and he missed. 0-1.
Same thing Verlander did to Perez his first time up. He sped him up with good fastballs up, and then he finished him off with a couple of really good curveballs.
Lifted back out of play, and now Verlander has him down in the count 0-2.
98 with that last heater.
Verlander came out of the chute throwing mid-90s in this one. Perez trying to knock in the game tying run. Hosmer at second with 2 outs. And he drives one in the air to left field. Dirk's on the run, still going back, can't get it off the wall. The run will score. It's going to be a long single for Salvador Perez, and with 2 outs, the Royals tie the game.
Verlander would love to have that 0-2 pitch back. He was able to get ahead of Perez with 2 good fastballs, 198, and then he comes back and he hangs a curveball. And that's the reason why he was able to drill that ball off the left field gate for a single. Lucky it didn't get out of here.
Perez hits .352 with runners in scoring position. He gets it done again. 1-1 game, and here is Moustakas. Again, a mid-90s fastball from Justin to get ahead 0-1. Royals now have 4 hits. Tigers have 2. The 0-1 pitch. Moustakas 0 for 1, a pop up to the third baseman his first time up. And the 1-1. Checked it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Moustakas. Verlander by inning in this game. He needed just 13 in the first inning. 17 now here in the fourth. And that is popped up. Left side of the infield. Iglesias to retire the side. They will settle for 1 run. brought to you by Arby's. Try Arby's Snack and Save menu today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Nighttime settling in now here in the Motor City. It is a 1-1 game. The Royals have tied this one up as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Bruce Chen back to the hill facing the middle of the Tigers lineup. It'll be Cabrera, Fielder, Martinez. Mickey bounced out on one pitch back in the first inning, 0 for 1. His average now at 348. And Cabrera looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Earlier today, Cabrera was out at the ballpark taking extra batting practice, which Jim Leland said was a good sign in terms of how he's feeling these days. Really, Rod, I guess we won't know down the stretch how good he's going to feel, but we do know this: he's going out there every day.
Well, obviously, something not quite right, or you got to give the pitcher some credit, but he didn't get a lot of hits on that just recent road trip, but there's a double.
And into right center field. It's going to be off the glove of Lowe. Up against the wall, and Cabrera will slide in there with a two-base hit. Almost a spectacular catch by David Lowe.
That's exactly what Miguel was working on today during an extra batting practice, getting back to driving the ball to right center field and to right field with authority. He got himself in a really nice hitter's count. We're going to show you Bell Tire pitch-by-pitch variety. He lays off a couple of pitches, finally gets himself in a really nice count to hit in, and he drives that ball into right center field.
Well, probably should have been caught, don't you think?
Yes, Lowe probably should have caught that, but he ran a long way to get there.
Here's Prince Fielder. Chen struck him out back in the first. Chen needed only 28 pitches to get through the first 3 innings.
That's Miggy's first extra base hit in the last couple of weeks.
Now the Tigers trying to get him in. Fielder lays off, and it's outside. 2-0 on Prince.
And if Prince is able to do so, it will be the 3rd consecutive year that he has driven in 100 runs in the season, and the 6th time Prince has done that in his big league career.
Swinging a drive into deep right field. That one is going to the corner, and it is gone. It's a home run for Prince Fielder, just over the wall in right, and the Tigers have taken the lead.
RBIs number 100 and 101 when the Prince touches home plate. Something off speed, and Prince was just waiting there for it as long as he could, and he caught it out in front, and with the brute strength that he has, it just did get over the right field wall.
Normally there's no problem getting over the wall. That one just snuck over. 101 in the RBI category now. 6 times he's done that in his career. So the two big guys combine. It's a double and a homer.
It's great to see after the Kansas City Royals were able to tie the score at 1 in the top half of the 4th inning.
See if Martinez can join the party here. Victor out on a soft line drive his first time up. Batting .297. 3 runs on 4 hits for Detroit. 1 run, 4 hits for KC. That's in the air, shallow left. Escobar, the shortstop, to the grass. 1 gone. It's also homer number 24 for Fielder.
He's having a really good month of September. Had a great road trip. Happening at a perfect time for the club.
So the Tigers now have 2 players with 100 or more RBIs. Cabrera with 133. Here's Andy Dirks. He shoots one in the air to center, straight at Gerard Dyson. 2 outs. That's a whole lot of production sitting right there.
The Bash Bros. Best 3-4 combination in all of baseball.
Here's Infante now with 2 outs. Chen has come back to get a couple of outs after the home run. Infante drops down a bunt, but foul. Won the count on Omar. Reaching on the fielder's choice back in the second.
Kansas City Royals also had a day off yesterday, and they really needed their day off. They had gone 44 days in a row without a day off. They were tired.
Well, even though they went that stretch, they came through it pretty good. I mean, they were 26-18 in that stretch. And it's a stretch that late in the season that can just wear you down, but they were able to survive.
Since August 25th, they are 18-5, which is the best record in the major leagues.
Wave and a miss.
Chen has had a really good changeup, and what he's been able to do is he gets the Tigers to swing at one of them, and then he throws the next one. When he has done it, he's backed up the changeup, and he's made sure that next one is about 2 inches further on the outside part of home plate into that left-hander's batter's box, excuse me. There it was again.
Shallow center. Dyson has the speed, though, to run it down to end the inning. No better duo in the big leagues in the middle of any lineup. Cabrera doubles. Fielder knocks him home with a homer. Tigers take the lead.
Justin Verlander early in this game, he saw that the Kansas City Royals hitters were looking for off-speed pitches. You can see the awkward swings on the fastball. So he threw a lot of fastballs early. Then he got him looking for the fastball, and then he simply went to the real good curveball, threw some really nice changeups, and he had him out in front of everything. So Justin Verlander prides himself in reading swings and kind of knowing what the hitters are trying to do against him, and because of that, he's thrown a lot of strikes here today. 61 total pitches. 44 of those have hit the strike zone.
David Lowe goes after the first one and fouls it back. The Tigers have their second lead of the game. It's now 3-1 Detroit. 2-run shot by Prince Fielder. Lowe is 0 for 1. He bounced out to the second baseman Infante. Verlander gave up an RBI single to Perez in the fourth. Tigers have 3 runs, 4 hits, and the Royals 1 run, 4 hits. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Showing bunt, yanks it back. 1-1. Verlander in his career here at Comerica, 71-31. With an ERA a little bit over 3, 3.08 to be exact. Foul back.
Those 71 wins since Verlander has come to the big leagues. No other pitcher in the American League has more wins than that at home.
Throwing a no-hitter in this ballpark, nearly 2 no-hitters.
He has provided Tigers fans with a lot of special moments right here at Comerica Park. Must-see TV as well.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Low is gone, 1 away. Every game counts. See the Tigers play the Mariners September 16th through 19th. Take advantage of the weekday value pack. 4 upper box tickets, hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks offer just $72. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. JV now facing Escobar. When you think about it, Verlander could easily have 4 no-hitters in his career. I mean, he has the 2, obviously, then the 1 against Pittsburgh that was broken up in the 9th inning.
There was a 2-year stretch there, buddy, where every time he took that heel, he could have thrown a no-hitter.
It seemed like it, no doubt.
There were many starts where he'd be in the 4th and the 5th, and we just kind of start gathering some information. He's on one tonight.
Hey, better prepare yourself.
Truck starting to scramble.
Here's the 1-1 to Escobar. He brought one into the 7th inning in Houston this year. Had one in the 7th inning at home against Texas. And he's made good on 2 of them. 1 against Milwaukee and 1 against Toronto on the road. Dyson waiting on deck. 2-1 on Alcides Escobar. Bender is in for a strike.
Front door slider there to Escobar. Usually as a hitter, you can see the breaking ball come out of the hand, but you're used to the breaking ball breaking on the outside corner. That time he froze Escobar because this one stayed inside.
Popped up. First base side, Prince under it. 2 outs. You ready for some trivia?
Yes.
All right, here we go. It's
Day off yesterday
of AT&T. What do we have? Before Jarrod Dyson, who was the last Royal with 30 or more steals in back-to-back seasons. They've had a lot of guys over the years that can run and run and run. Dyson, one of the latest. He is 0 for 1 in this game, a strikeout victim. And he pops a bunt back to the screen, 0-1. Verlander has 4 strikeouts now in this game. Justin this year has gone double digits in strikeouts a couple of times. A 12 strikeout game and a 13 strikeout game. Here's a bunt, third base side, going to let it roll. Hopefully foul. And you better get it. Oh, they're going to say it's a fair ball. I think it did touch the chalk.
Well, it was not going to roll foul. Miggy tried to steal one there. That ball wasn't going to go foul. McGill just tried to pick it up.
It was still touching chalk when Cabrera picked it up. I think that's a pretty good call by Bob Davidson. We'll see. Dyson's going to have himself an infield hit.
It's a nice job by Miggy, though. That ball was going to stay fair, so he figured, let me pick it up. Not going to throw him out anyway. We might get the foul call here.
Well, it actually was heading foul, and then right.
It wasn't going foul.
There. Yep, it was hooking back in. He tried to steal it. It actually was foul. He just picked it up too late. A second too late, but it was fully in foul territory. Here's Gordon. He looks at a strike. Strikeout, flyout. Royals have their 5th hit. And Dyson just got back.
Alex Avila has already thrown out 1 speedy base runner here tonight. That was Bonifacio, their number 2 hitter earlier in the game. It was back in the 4th inning. And he might have to just throw out Dyson here with 2 outs. He will be trying to get himself down in the scoring position.
Another quick tag there by Prince. 30 of 36 this year for Dyson. There's another throw. They got him. Third time's a charm. And Verlander dances off the hill back into the dugout. Dyson is picked clean to end the inning. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Belt Tire.
Real quick feed here by Verlander. As a base runner, you're not used to the guy coming over when he's not set. And Verlander flips one over to first base, and he picks off Dyson for the first time this year. And that's the 24th pickoff for Justin Verlander since coming to the big leagues in 2006. Very quick feat for Justin Verlander.
So the Tigers bat now in the bottom of the fifth inning. And Alex Avila will look at ball one outside. It'll be Avila, Iglesias, and then Jackson facing Bruce Chen.
Verlander doing a very nice job once those guys do get on first base that could really run. He's paid a lot of attention to them to make sure they haven't stolen a base. You said it. Verlander was dancing into the dugout.
Pirouette. That was a lightning quick move. And Dyson paid for it. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 now on Avila. Flight out to left field back in the second, 0 for 1. Chen with the 2-1 pitch. 3-1 on Alex. A 409 road trip for Avila. Average came in at 221. And really, since the All-Star break, his numbers have been so much better. Over 300 since the break, 319. And he's got himself a walk here to lead things off in the fifth.
Don't know for sure, but here's a situation where Jim can go a couple of different ways. He could simply give the sacrifice bunt to Iglesias, who really handles the bat well, or he could put on a hit and run and put Avila in motion. It's nice to have options when you have a guy standing in the batter's box that can handle the bat and do either thing for you.
Loops one in the air to shallow center. Dyson will come in a couple of steps. Iglesias is out. Unable to advance the runner. One gone. Now the top of the lineup, Jackson. Chen's been really economical with his pitches, only 49 so far as he throws here in the 5th.
That's why the Tigers are so aggressive on first pitches. There have been several guys that have swung at the very first thing they've seen out of the hand of Chen because he's around that plate with everything that he throws.
.50 total now for Chen, 32 strikes. The 36-year-old left-hander, his contract expires at the end of the year. Whether or not he'll be back with the Royals remains to be seen. Driven toward left field, hit well. Gordon is on the run, reaches, can't get it. And one hop over the wall. That's going to cost the Tigers a run. They will stop Avila at third. It is a ground rule double. Second double of the ball game for Jackson.
First time Jackson was up, he hit a fastball down the left field corner for a double. That time a breaking ball that really wasn't that bad a pitch. It was down, but Jackson stayed down on it, and he swung right through it and hit it over the head of Alex Gordon, who made a very nice effort to make that play. Take a look at Austin Jackson's swing in Phantom Can. Oh, look at the bat knob leading. Getting the barrel of the bat right over the heart of the plate. That is a great shot right there. Arm extension.
Infield in a couple of steps with runners at second and third. Torrey knocked in a run with a ground out back in the first. Tigers trying to expand on a 3-1 lead. Ball inside, 2-0 on Torrey. Royals came in 2.5 back of the wild card. Facing Justin Verlander here tonight, who's given up just 1 run on 5 hits so far. And a big swing there by Hunter.
Imperative that Torrey Hunter drive the run in. If he doesn't, Miguel Cabrera will not get a chance to do so. With the open base, they will probably walk him. Even though Prince Fielder's already homered today, and even though left-handers have better numbers than right-handers do against Bruce Chen.
Well, he's going to get it done. 1 run is in. That's Avila. Here comes Jackson. Throw to the plate. It's off target. And Hunter goes to second. 2 runs in. 5-1 ball game. 3 RBI night for Torrey.
Real nice concentration by Torrey Hunter, who struck out last time on a changeup that was away from him. He got something up in the zone and fought it off to right field, line drive variety. Low came up and fired home. Wasn't going to throw Jackson out, but really good base running instincts by Torrey Hunter on first base, who read that throw, able to get himself in a scoring position, and they're still going to walk Miggy.
They are indeed. First base is open. He will not get a chance to swing the bats.
We put up some numbers on Bruce Chen before the game started, and right-handers are hitting .215 against him. Left-handers are hitting .265, but Ned Yost still not going to mess with Miggy.
Fielder waiting on deck, I'm sure, understands this. He knows why it's done, but there's got to be a part of him that takes it personal.
This is not a really easy decision for Ned Yost, because he managed Prince Fielder when Prince came to the big leagues, and he knows how dangerous Prince Fielder is. I mean, he's seen it firsthand.
Bullpen action now for KC. Francisco Bueno warming up. Tigers can really bust this one wide open now as you look at the numbers following a Cabrera intentional walk. So Chen in some hot water here, and yes, we've said it before, we'll say it again. It all started with a leadoff walk. It went to Avila. He has since come around to score. Tigers tonight 2 for 3 with men in scoring position. There goes the runner to third, and no throw.
Just talked about the fact that Torrey Hunter has outstanding base running instincts, and with Moustakas playing well off the line at third, as soon as Moustakas put his head down, Torrey Hunter took off for third base and was able to steal the base successfully. He's sizing him up right now. He knows there's no one going to beat him to the bag. Just an outstanding base running move.
Umpire's talking about it now.
Is it a balk?
Let's see if he stepped off.
Must have called a balk.
They did call a balk. So move both runners up.
So it will not be a steal.
And now Ned Yost coming out. So take the steal away apparently from Hunter, and we'll get a balk advancing both runners.
Doesn't negate the outstanding base running instincts of Torrey Hunter, though.
Perez going to tell him to step off right now. Did he? It didn't look like he did. So now Fielder will have runners at second and third.
Their best way of maybe getting out of this is to maybe put Prince Fielder on. Victor Martinez has grounded in a lot of double plays this year, and see if they could get him to hit something on the ground.
Well, apparently they're going to pitch to him. And he swings and tips it into the glove for strike one. Prince hit a 2-run shot back in the fourth. Fielder shoots one to right field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Hunter scores. Cabrera goes to third, and the Tigers tack on another. It is 6-1 Detroit.
Some guys just have a knack of driving in runs, and Prince Fielder would be one of those guys. Got himself a little soft breaking ball from Bruce Chen, and he stayed on it long enough to loft it into shallow right field for the RBI.
3 RBIs tonight for Hunter and Fielder. And it's 6-1 in favor of the Tigers. Wallside windows pitching change. Chen is out. Lead 6-1. The RBI by Fielder knocks him out of the game, and now Francisco Bueno will check in.
His fastball will get up to about 93 miles an hour. He's got some really nice arm side run with that fastball. Heavy dose of changeups as well by Bueno. He also has a curveball and a slider, but he loves the fastball and he loves the changeup.
As Bueno warms up, we remind you to join us again tomorrow. The Tigers taking on the Royals. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. with Tigers Live. Tigers and Royals Game 2 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. 3 RBIs tonight for Prince, 102 for the year.
We are not accustomed to the Tigers having big leads against the Kansas City Royals this year. We told you, if you weren't with us earlier, that these two teams have played 8 one-run contests this year. And over the course of the last couple of years, lots of highly contested ball games.
Victor goes after the first pitch. Shallow fly to left. Won't score a run. As Gordon makes the catch. I think Cabrera holds at third. 2 outs now. That'll bring up Andy Dirks. Francisco Bueno is a native of Havana, Cuba, living in the Dominican Republic now.
A lot of Cuban-born players in the major leagues these days.
It really is.
And most of them are really good players.
Eighth man at bat in the inning. Driven to center field. Dyson backing up. Still going. That'll end the inning. However, it's a big inning for the Tigers. They take on 3 more. Got it started with a double by Jackson. Hunter then singled in 2. The Phantom Cam shows Fielder's RBI hit. 6-1 Detroit.
So far tonight, the pitchers have, and Justin Verlander's done a very nice job of giving Avila a time to throw. He threw out a base runner very earlier in this game. There was Bonifacio on second base, and then Dyson was on first base last time up, and Justin Verlander picked him off with his 24th pick of his big league career. So that's one of the things that the Tigers haven't done a great job of this year, giving the catchers time to throw and making sure when the guys are on first base, they keep them there. Justin has done well here this evening.
And meanwhile, JV enjoying a 5-run lead. 6-1 is our score. The Tigers have out hit the Royals 7-5. Gordon leads it off. He'll be followed by Bonifacio and then Hosmer. 1, 2, 3 in the lineup for the KC Royals. Verlander's first pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Gordon, not much going on tonight to this point. Fly out, strikeout, 0 for 2. Now the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike on Alex Gordon. 13 of his 19 home runs have come from the leadoff slot this year. And trying to extend his hitting streak to 8 straight. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball foul.
They've done a lot of that to Alex Gordon all season long, and because of that his numbers aren't real good against Detroit pitching. But there are a lot of teams that don't have good numbers against Detroit pitching. It's one of the best staffs in all of baseball, but they've given him a lot of changeups, lots of off-speed pitches.
Now Verlander's 1-2. He'll get back out of play. That pretty much emphasizes your analysis there. .215 batting average. 19 strikeouts this year in 16 games versus Detroit. Pulls that one into right field, base hit.
That's why you don't throw him a fastball. You don't throw him a fastball in. You go back to that changeup to get the strikeout.
Game break time. Let's check in now with Justin White. All right, Justin, thanks. Boy, those Red Sox, they can hit. They're on a roll.
And especially in that ballpark in Boston.
They're trying to win their 90th game. Bonifacio, the batter. Ball 1 from Verlander. Single and a fly out for Emilio Bonifacio. Picked up in an August trade, August 14th from Toronto. And he shows bunt, takes a strike. Bonifacio has played 6 different positions this year. When you count his time with both the Blue Jays and the Royals.
That's kind of how Ned Yost envisioned using him when he got him from Toronto, but he's played so well that he's pretty much taken over the everyday assignment at second base.
Well, he's played second, he's played third, he's played short, and he's played all 3 of the outfield positions.
They've won a lot of big league games since he came from Toronto.
Strike call. Well, they got Giavotella and Getz, who can both play second base as well on their roster, but Bonifacio's going out there daily.
Those two struggle with the bat. He struggles with the bat too, other than when he's playing against Detroit.
Outside, 2-2. Tigers an opportunity to shave the magic number down to 10 with a victory tonight. Cleveland was a winner today in Chicago. Gordon led it off with a single, still standing there with nobody out. We're in the 6th. And a chopper foul down the first base line. Detroit has scored 5 of their 6 runs in the last 2 innings.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Justin Verlander so far this evening. 98 has been his top fastball. He has gone as low as 78 with his curveball.
Just a couple of days ago, the temperatures are in the high 90s in Chicago now. Pitchers are blowing on their hand. It's a cool night here at the ballpark. 54 right now. Swing and a miss, and Bonifacio is retired. Verlander 5 strikeouts.
It's an 87-mile-per-hour slider that Bonifacio probably should have put in play. It wasn't a great pitch for Verlander, but it just goes to show you that every now and then the pitcher doesn't make a quality pitch, but he still gets away with it.
Hosmer has an infield single and a run scored. Eric Hosmer right now has 55 multiple hit games, which is more than anybody in the American League, and he has done that based on a huge second half.
Had Eric Hosmer gotten off to a really good April and May, the Kansas City Royals probably would be leading in the wild card right now as we speak, and they would be challenging. That's a balk.
Yep, just got called for it too. Balk has been called,
and they would be challenging the Tigers for the American League Central. I don't know what. Verlander just got caught in between right here. It don't come any easier than that for the umpire to call.
Getting back to your point about Hosmer, and I guess it kind of illustrates that if they could add another big bat or two in the offseason, look out. Bat in the middle of that lineup. There's a ball high.
They've always felt like they've had enough with Hosmer and Moustakas. Of course, Butler, he's as consistent as they come. But if they could get Moustakas to join the party and to produce and play the way that he played down the stretch last year with their catcher Perez, they really have a nice 3, 4, 5 in the future.
Big rip there by Hosmer. Moustakas has been a very good defensive player, just hadn't put it all together offensively on a consistent basis. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 now on Hosmer.
This is a dangerous count right here if you decide to throw Hosmer a fastball, even though you can get up in the upper 90s. He takes a big, healthy cut, and his bat is quick. And he's looking for that upper 90s fastball, too.
Hit one to third on a backhand, Cabrera. And it's scooped out by Prince. No return throw as the runner moves up. That would be Gordon to third base.
Well located fastball that Hosmer was able to get on top of with Miguel one step to his right, made that play, but he needed some help from Prince Fielder on the other side of the diamond, who picked it out of the dirt.
Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to, Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Two gone. Here is Billy Butler. Verlander throwing for the windup. And it's fouled straight back, 0-1. Butler is single in 2 at-bats.
If you're wondering on Justin Verlander regarding that balk, it was his first of the year.
It moved Gordon to second base. He's now standing at third following the ground out. Ball high, 1-1. Line drive to left. That's another base hit for Butler, and that'll drive in a run.
It ought to be against the law for that boy to hit Justin as hard as he does.
It's going to be a 76th RBI of the season. 2 hits tonight for Butler.
Always seems to be just one step ahead. Tailing fastball inside. Billy Butler pulls his hands in nicely on this ball and barrels it up.
That'll make it a 6-2 ball game. And now Perez.
It's always nice to take a peek at Phantom Cam when it's in the house, and it is here this evening. And here's Billy Butler's perfect swing in Phantom Cam, getting on top of a fastball right around the belt buckle and driving in another run.
Driven toward right center field. That looks like trouble, and it is. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Here comes a runner to third. They're going to send him home. Butler will score on the play. It's a double and an RBI for Perez, who knocks in his second run of the night. A couple of 2-out hits for the Royals, and all of a sudden now a 6-3 game.
Royals not going to go quietly. It's a slider that's outside, but it's probably up a little bit too high in. Perez is a really good hitter and driving the ball in that direction. He gets himself a double and an RBI.
Now Moustakas. Strike one on Moustakas. A 2-run 6th inning has made it a 6-3 game. Verlander now at 95 total pitches. Will get some activity in the Detroit bullpen.
And which were really, in the grand scheme of things, is what Kansas City was trying to accomplish here tonight, to get into the Tigers' middle relief.
Smiley in Albuquerque. One ball, one strike on Moustakas. 0 for 2 in this game. Avila keeps it in front of him.
Kind of gives you an idea of the sense of urgency in this game. It's been quite a while since we have seen Drew Smiley get up in the 6th inning.
Very true. It's the time of the year where managers maybe are a little bit more unconventional than they normally would be, as they will seem to place a little bit more importance on victories this late in the season, especially for the Tigers trying to nail down a playoff spot. Here's the 2-1. Make it 2-2 now on Moustakas. And the Royals actually have more hits now than the Tigers. They have 8. The Tigers have 7. Got him. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Moustakas caught looking. 6 strikeouts for Verlander. Moustakas didn't like it, but the Royals got a little bit closer with a couple of runs here in the 6th.
On the board first, a double in the left field, an error by the left fielder Alex Gordon allowed Jackson to get the third. Ground out. Torrey Hunter was able to play him. Prince Fielder against Bruce Chin. This was in the 4th inning. 2-run shot into right field, which put the Tigers back in the lead. And then that very next inning, the Tigers extended that lead with a base hit off the bat of Torrey Hunter to drive in 2 more.
Tigers bat in the bottom of the 6th. And it's Omar Infante leading it off. Infante, Avila, Iglesias, the bottom 3 for Detroit. Bueno misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Francisco Bueno took over in the 5th inning, got a couple of fly ball outs to quiet things down. The Tigers had scored 3. They led 6-1 at that point. It's now 6-3. Ball outside. KC now with some action in their pen. Lewis Coleman warming up.
They've got a good bullpen, especially at the back end. One of the best in the American League, if not the best right now.
Ball outside, 3-1. Hard to argue with the numbers that the Royal bullpen has put up. The relievers, an ERA of 2.59. 2.5 is a stat. Pretty good. Omar is 0 for 2. Little pop up, back a second. Bonifacio. 1 out. We'll bring up Alex Avila. Fly out, a walk, and a run scored tonight for Alex. Avila's hit safely now in his last 4, batting .319 since the All-Star break this year. And he checks his swing low, 1-0. That's it for a strike, 1-1. Bueno defected from Cuba back in 2004. He pitched for a couple of years in the Dominican Republic in the Winter League before signing with the Atlanta Braves originally. 32 years old. Wave and a miss. 1-2 on Avila. Bueno got to the big leagues with Atlanta back in 2008. Then he went to Mexico to pitch, Mexico City and Monterrey for a couple of years. And now back in the big leagues. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off the plate inside, 2-2. Iglesias waiting on deck. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it though, and Avila strikes out, 2 gone. Bueno has his first strikeout of the game, 4 up, 4 down against the KC lefty. That'll bring up Iglesias. Fly out strikeout tonight for Jose. Here's the 1-0. That's in there as Bob Davidson goes up with the right hand. 1 ball, 1 strike. Should Iglesias get on here, he'll kick it back to the top of the order where Jackson is waiting on deck.
Jackson's had a nice day. He's already doubled a couple times, scored a couple runs.
In there is strike 1 and 2 on Iglesias. A little silent protest there at home plate. And the 1-2. Bounce again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. These two teams have played 3-game series, and then Seattle comes in, a team the Tigers haven't seen since April. They'll play them in a 4-game series. Now the 2-2. Fouled at home plate. Tigers jumped out to a 6-1 lead in this game. 3 RBIs each for Hunter and Fielder. Royals came back with 2 in the top of the 6th inning. And again the 2-2. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Iglesias could have himself a good final 2 weeks. He put himself in a decent position to win that American League Rookie of the Year award.
Very much in that conversation.
Got to finish strong, though. Here's the 3-2. And he got him. Strike 3. Tigers go 1-2-3. Bueno has retired all 5 that he's faced since coming out of the bullpen.
Bueno's been good.
Here at the ballpark, and it is time now for tonight's Ace Hardware Scott's Fan Poll question of the game on this Friday the 13th. Of these 4 former players, who was your favorite that wore number 13? Was today Omar Vizquel, B. Lance Parrish, the big wheel, C. Dave Concepcion, or D. Ozzie Guillen? Text ACE then a space, then A, B, C, or D to 37338 and cast your vote. Meanwhile, Verlander goes back to the hill. JV having thrown 99 pitches. This will be number 100. And it's to David Lowe, who pops up a bunt foul. Lowe, Escobar, and then Dyson. We're in the top of the 7th. Wow, he is throwing a lot of strikes tonight. The ratio for Verlander after 100.
But we talked about Verlander a little earlier in the contest. Our charter internet stat: no pitcher in the major leagues has thrown more strikes than Justin Verlander this year.
To the center fielder Jackson, just about in his tracks, 1 out.
And over 3,300 pitches thrown by Justin Verlander, which ranks 3rd in the majors. So he is quite the horse.
Bullpen still working. Drew Smiley, the lefty, and Al Albuquerque, the right-hander. Here's Alcides Escobar. In for strike one. A couple of pop-ups tonight for Escobar. One to first base, one to the shortstop. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Tapped right behind home plate. 0-2 on Alcides. Hit a homer on Tuesday night, which was his first home run in over, well, it was exactly 467 at bats.
He took a step back offensively. We were talking about this Royals team, and had they had some guys have the same kind of years they did last year, Moustakas, Escobar, and had Hosmer gotten off to a better start, they'd be right in the thick of things, and they're in the thick of things as far as the wild card's concerned. But you think it's going to be very difficult for them to get in based on the fact that they've got to climb a couple teams?
Yeah, I think that if they were 2.5 out and had to jump maybe one team or two team, that's different. But they've got Baltimore, New York, Cleveland.
So you're counting on too many teams to struggle in the next 2 weeks.
Exactly. Not saying it can't be done. Certainly they can get hot and leapfrog a couple of teams, and all of a sudden it becomes real interesting. But there's no question they are still in it, and that's what that extra wild card has done. It has expanded the amount of teams that are kept alive here in the middle of September. Make no mistake about it, Ned Yost has done a really good job. Their team, as a matter of fact, 34-20 since the All-Star break. And that one just missed. Verlander was getting ready to walk around the mound, celebrating another strikeout.
87-mile-per-hour slider that he threw there to Escobar. And Fox Tracks is saying that it was just a hair off the black outside.
And he popped that one up, shallow center. Jackson running hard. It's going to drop right in front of him. Little blue single for Alcides Escobar.
Well, that's just one of those ones that's just right in the middle of no man's land. Verlander made a great pitch, but somehow Escobar got just enough of it to get it over the head of Infante, and Jackson couldn't recover.
There's that AT&T trivia question again as Gerard Dyson steps in. We'd like to know, before Dyson, who was the last Royal with 30 or more steals in back-to-back years?
Beltran.
Carlos Beltran did it in 01, 02, and 03. Dyson showing bunt, lays it foul. No balls and one strike. Infield hit for Dyson back in the fifth, but then he was picked off. 6-3 Detroit. We're in the seventh. Oh, 2.
It may not be a bad time to let Escobar steal a base here. One out, even if he gets thrown out. And not a bad situation. He can really run. 18 of 18 in steals this year.
Most without being caught in Royals history. The 18 of 18. Bounce again, and he's going to break towards second. The throw is not in time.
Good instincts, real nice anticipation by the base runner Escobar there. As soon as he saw the breaking ball come out of Justin Verlander's hand and bounce, he was off and running towards second base. It was going to be very difficult for Avila to throw him out.
So the wild pitch will advance him. Checked it, and he went. Dyson is out. 7 strikeouts for Verlander.
Verlander's done a very nice job of speeding up the bats of some of the speedy base runners and hitters of the Kansas City Royals, only to get them out with curveballs and changeups.
So with Gordon due up, they'll go to the bullpen. Verlander is done for the night. He will leading it 6-3. It is a Wallside Windows pitching change. We shall return.
Are brought to you by Head and Shoulders, and Justin Verlander came in 15-5 in this contest against the Kansas City Royals, but he hadn't beaten them this year. But it looks like he's going to get a win against them if the bullpen can hold it down for him. 7 strikeouts, variety of different pitches, whether it's the fastball that got all the way up to 98 or that breaking ball about 77, 78. Really nice game pitch tonight by Justin Verlander.
There goes the runner to third, and no throw down there. Stealing it standing up.
He is now 19 of 19 in steals this year, and that's the 5th time he has stolen third base.
Smiley is the new pitcher. He has stranded 18 of 21 inherited runners so far this year.
You see guys take off with left-handers up, but Drew Smiley didn't even take a peek at Escobar.
Two 2-0 now, the count on Gordon. Not a really good matchup here for Gordon. 1 for 10 with 6 strikeouts.
He's got a nice count to hit in, though. Smiley's going to have to make a pitch.
The 2-0 is fouled back out of play. 2-1.
Really? 323 against lefties, 244 against righties? That's odd.
Gordon tonight is 1 for 3, singled and scored a run back in the 6th.
It's really odd, as a matter of fact.
We'll loop that one back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bonifacio waiting on deck. Tigers up by 3. We're in the 7th. Verlander departing after a 7 strikeout performance tonight. Checked it low. He went. Strike 3 called. Gordon didn't like it. And that'll take care of the Royals here. We go to the stretch. Detroit is brought to you by Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 in theaters September the 27th. Back here in the Motor City, the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals in Game 1 in this series. The Tigers up by 3 right now. Fans, don't forget, AL Division Series tickets are on sale this Tuesday at 10 a.m. for all potential ALDS home games at Comerica Park. If you'd like more information, visit Tigers.com to get more info as the postseason is right around the corner on a night which has a twinge of October baseball in it, as Lewis Coleman is the new pitcher now.
22 games, and there has not been a lot of damage done against Coleman, but the Tigers off to a nice start. Nice place by Lowe in right field, though.
Jackson retired, 1 gone here in the 7th inning. He'll bring up Torrey Hunter.
Nice jump by Lowe in left field. Took a beeline to come in and pick that one, and before it landed in softly for another hit for Jackson. Jackson making a bid for his 3rd hit of the game.
Zimmer's Lowe made some pretty good plays against the Tigers this year.
They got a good outfield. I mean, the speed they have in center field, whether it's Kane or Dyson. The guy in left field, he's winning Gold Gloves these days, and Lowe. Didn't know much about him before this year began, but he has a lot of assists, and he's performed very well out there.
Torrey's had a nice game. He's knocked in 3. 2 on a single back in the 5th inning, which right now remains the big 3-run inning for the Tigers. They led 6-1 at that point.
And Coleman's got a fastball that will go 89 to 91 miles an hour. He's got a curve, slider, and change. Not many change-ups, but he does give you a lot of sliders.
1 ball and 1 strike on Torrey, who now has 75 RBIs this year. 1-2.
Rumor has it that Torrey Hunter had a nice little closed-door meeting with the team after that first loss in Chicago. And, of course, they came out under Rick Porcello that next day, Sanchez the following day, and took the last 2 games of that series against the White Sox. So one thing many people felt the Tigers were missing last year in the World Series, that voice in the clubhouse that would call a team meeting and kind of rally the troops and get guys on the same page. That's veteran leadership.
Do you think that team meetings called by players have more effect than one called by a manager?
I think so, when it's coming from a guy like Torrey Hunter. They were struggling on that road trip. I mean, they lost 2 or 3 in Boston, lost 2 or 3 in Kansas City, and they lost that first game to the Chicago White Sox.
Torrey goes down swinging here, 2 outs. Hey, Tuesday, September 17th, the Tigers take on the Seattle Mariners at 7:08. Guess what? The first 10,000 fans receive a free Miguel Cabrera bobblehead. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Or if you'd like as well, visit Tigers.com for more information.
I think it just kind of worked out well for Torrey to rally the troops and have some messages for his team, because it was right after Dave Dombrowski had, really talked to the team about Johnny Peralta returning. So they were all in the same room.
Well, Torrey's been around so long that you can do nothing but respect what he has to say.
He could feel it. They needed it.
Here's the 0-1. Cabrera cuts and misses 0-2.
A couple of really good breaking balls thrown by Coleman at the bottom of the strike zone to get ahead of Miguel. He throws his slider 43% of the time.
Double and an intentional walk in this game for Miguel. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. It is a 1-2-3 inning for Coleman, and Tigers baseball tonight is presented by Bell Tire.
against the Chicago White Sox, and Drew Smyly was part of that. He got Adam Dunn to strike out on a couple of pitches that he threw to him that were at the bottom of the zone, and then he comes into this game, 7th inning, runner on, and able to get Alex Gordon. So it's good to see Drew Smyly start to locate that good breaking ball to the left-handers again. He had struggled really in the month of September before that outing just a couple of days ago.
Well, hopefully righting the ship as we head toward the end of September, and Smyly will go back to work here in the 8th. Emilio Bonifacio leads it off. Tigers have 6 runs, 7 hits. Royals tonight 3 runs, 9 hits. Bonifacio single in 3 at bats. And Smyly delivers a strike. Drew struck out Gordon to end the 7th and now goes back to work here in the 8th. Royals have been a fairly dangerous team when they trail late in games. In fact, they have 10 wins trailing after the 7th inning, which is the most in the major leagues. A little bit of comeback ability for these Royals. Tigers bullpen has other ideas tonight. Here's the 1-1. Strike called. 1-2 on Bonifacio. Hosmer and then Butler following here, which means it's 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Royals. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Bonifacio is retired. 2 strikeouts now for Smyly.
It's a well-located slider down and in, and by Drew Smyly. Also punched out Alex Gordon to end the top half of the 7th inning with a really good breaking ball.
Eric Hosmer is 1 for 8 against him. Infield single run scored tonight for Hosmer. He is 1 for 3 overall. Two and 0 the count. Tigers searching for their 85th win of the campaign here tonight. Ball low. 3-0. Again, Cleveland earlier today, a winner in Chicago. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and it's low. He walked him. 1 on and 1 out. Here comes the skipper again with Billy Butler due up. Jose Veras will be summoned from the bullpen apparently. And so the skipper takes the baseball. Another pitching change here at Comerica, and we'll be back. As we play here in the 8th, Prince Fielder, his 6th career 100 RBI season with 3 of them tonight. Austin Jackson, a nice night, couple of doubles, couple of runs scored, and Justin Verlander 6 2/3, 7 strikeouts, no walks. 111 pitches for JV, and now Jose Veras will take over now to face Billy Butler.
Yeah, 21 total saves this year for Jose Veras. He had 19 of those with his former club, the Houston Astros, just a couple with Detroit. And he came in on the 8th inning just a couple of nights ago in relief of Sanchez and got a huge strikeout of Paul Konerko of the Chicago White Sox.
Billy hadn't done too well against Veras, so for 5 with 3 strikeouts. 1 on, 1 out. We're in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Veras looking for that ground ball. Billy Butler already grounded into 21 double plays this year.
A little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
And here's that big strikeout that he got just a couple of days ago. It was a very close game, 1-0 lead, and he got Paul Konerko with a back-to-back changeups.
Two 2-0 the count on Butler. Well, if he were to reach, that would bring the tying run to the plate. And Billy is 2 out of 3 tonight. A couple of singles in RBI and a run scored. Low 3-0. Smiley struck out Bonifacio, then he walked Hosmer. That brought Veras in. Salvador Perez waiting on deck.
Billy Butler has already swung at 1-3-0 pitch here today. That was against Justin Verlander.
Not going to do it this time as he takes his walk. That'll put 2 men on.
8 straight balls thrown by Smiley and now Jose Veras. 4 apiece.
Which means the tying run will step in now with only 1 out.
Too late for free passes.
As Jeff Jones comes out, there's more action in the Detroit bullpen. Joaquin Benoit starting to loosen. So is lefty Phil Koch.
The approach they've had all night long against Salvador Perez is to been able to get him out with breaking balls. Justin Verlander did a very nice job his first time up today. Struck him out with back-to-back curveballs, but then the next time Perez got up, Verlander threw him a breaking ball that really wasn't a bad pitch, but it was the 0-2, and he singled, excuse me. Then the next time up, he got a slider that got too much plate, and he hit that one in the right center field. So they're throwing him lots of breaking balls. They just have to execute a little bit better.
2 RBIs tonight for Perez and 69 for the year. Way inside, another one that missed from Veras. 1-0.
Here's where the Royals team have been troublesome for the Tigers. Late in games, a guy on second base that can steal a bag, although Hosmer probably not going to steal. But if you're Veras, you need to concentrate here on Perez. He has the ability to hit the ball into the seats. This is how the Royals win games, and this is how they've won a lot of games against Detroit this year.
Popped up right side of the infield. This would be a huge out. Infield fly rule. 2 gone.
Surprised Infante let the Prince take that. Usually Infante is calling Prince off.
It'll bring up Moustakas now with 2 away. And it's not been a good night for Moustakas. 0 for 3. Struck out his last time. There's ball one missing outside. Tigers tonight have been out hit 9-7, but they lead by 3. One more big out to get here in the 8th inning for Jose Veras. Two and 0. Jim Leyland pacing around a little bit. Can't find a comfortable spot here. Veras not able to throw strikes consistently.
You can't let him pull the baseball. A lot of power to right field. Make him hit it to left if he's going to beat you.
Here's the 2-0. 2-1 on Moustakas. Now 5 for 41 in the month of September. This after hitting .301 in the month of August. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Popped him up. Foul ground left side. Cabrera back to the railing. Can't quite get there. Two balls, 2 strikes on Moustakas.
Look at that helmet. That looks unsanitary.
Yes, it does. Well, it's not like he's going to have lunch off his helmet or anything.
But still.
It does look pretty bad. Unsanitary. That probably isn't a word I was going to go with, but it fits. Here's the 2-2. Oh, it hit him.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't want it. Moustakas hit by the pitch. That's going to load the bases. Now Jim Leyland coming out again. Is he going to get Benoit?
Well, we'll see if Ned Yost counters with a pinch hitter here.
Skipper going to get his closer. And Joaquin now is going to have to get a 4-out save. So Veras will depart the scene after walking a batter and hitting a batter, and we'll be back. Well, Joaquin Benoit coming out of the Tigers bullpen to try and get an out here in the 8th inning.
Thought maybe he was going to bring the left-hander in to go after David Lowe. That's why I thought maybe Ned Yost would go to a pinch hitter, but it's the Tigers closer looking for save number 19, but he'll need to have 4 outs to do so.
Lowe now with the bases loaded in a 6-3 game. And Benoit delivers a strike. Again, further illustrating the importance of this game in the mind of Jim Leyland, going to his closer for a 4-out save here. Lowe is 0 for 3. They are loaded up with Royals. Hosmer, Butler, Moustakas. Here's the 0-1.
Joaquin Benoit has inherited 17 base runners this year. Only 3 of those have been able to touch home plate. He has 3 of them out there right now.
In for a strike, 1-2 now on David Lowe.
Joaquin has 3 different pitches that he can get you out with here. He's got the slider, he's got the fastball that he can get up to 96, 97. He's got that Vulcan changeup that he buries down and away from the left-handers when he's right.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. Huge strikeout for Joaquin Benoit. Royals leave him loaded here in the 8th. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-3 in favor of the Tigers. The Royals leave them loaded in the top of the 8th inning. Big strikeout by Joaquin Benoit, putting out the fire. But the Tigers now will try and expand their lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Donnie Joseph is on now for Kansas City.
2 pitches for Donnie Joseph. A fastball that will top out at 93 miles an hour as we look at his numbers this season in AAA Omaha. Slider would be the other pitch that he has to go along with the fastball.
3rd stint of the year with a big club for Donnie Joseph. And he will take over now as we go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Fielder, Martinez, and Dirks. 6-3 in favor of the Tigers. And a big reason why Prince Fielder has 3 RBIs in this game. Joseph, a native of San Marcos, Texas. 25 years old.
Stands on the first base side of the pitching rubber, and he throws behind that left-hander. He's got some deception in that delivery. It's the reason why you see guys that stand way over on the first base side. When they do deliver the ball, they want to create a different angle and a difficult angle for the left-handed batters. Here's a look at how far he is standing to the first base side of the rubber.
Prince has a big swing, and the count is 0-2.
Here's a better look at it. Looks like he's got his heel just on the edge of the rubber. Not even the toe, it's the heel that's touching the rubber.
Joseph, a University of Houston product. In high school was a wide receiver on the football team. Try to get Prince Fielder here to start things off in the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a miss. So he strikes out Fielder, 1 gone. 3 straight strikeouts now for the Royals bullpen. Again, this Royals pen doing what they've done all season long. Tigers have not done anything. They've had Bueno, they've had Coleman, now Joseph. So you check out the Tigers in-game box score. Fielder with 3 RBIs tonight, and also Torrey Hunter 3 RBIs tonight. Victor Martinez 0 for 3. One ball, 1 strike. On July the 1st, Victor Martinez was batting .232. It's been an unbelievable climb for Martinez. .372 since, which has had him flirting with .300. One ball, 1 strike on Victor. .74 hits since the All-Star break. Hosmer right behind him with 72.
3 hot hitters in the building. Billy Butler also shows up on that list.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. So Joseph now has struck out a pair of Tigers. And for a preview on what's coming up on Tigers Live postgame, let's check in with Shannon Hogan.
Yeah, Mario, as soon as the game is over, our coverage continues here on Fox Sports Detroit. Justin White and Craig Monroe in studio, and I'm going to be heading into the Tigers clubhouse to talk with Jim Leyland and Justin Verlander and some of the other Tigers players. It's all coming up right after this on Tigers Live from the Coliseum Studios. I'll send it back up to you.
All right, Shannon, thanks. We look forward to that. Hopefully they'll be talking about a Tigers win. 3 more outs to get. As Andy Dirk steps in now with 2 outs in the 8th. And Andy looks at a strike. The Royals bullpen now has struck out 4 consecutive Tigers. Dirks in this game is 1 for 3.
And the Tigers really haven't seen the best part of that bullpen.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they haven't seen Hochevar.
They haven't seen Hochevar. They haven't seen Wade Davis, who's been pitching out of that bullpen, throwing 97. Greg Holland, he's locked down. Tim Collins, the little left-hander, is really good. And Herrera, he throws 100 miles an hour. So this is the middle relief that's doing this to the Tigers hitters.
Swing and a miss. He left the strike zone, and Joseph strikes out the side. Tigers go in order, and we go to the ninth. Six-3 game. The Tigers have the lead over the Kansas City Royals, looking for 3 more outs. And Alcides Escobar will stand in against Joaquin Benoit, who had to come in the 8th inning with the bases loaded, and he struck out David Lowe.
Yeah, very important for Benoit here in the top half of the 9th inning to be very, very efficient, to stay away from the big bats in the Kansas City Royals order.
He's got 8, 9, and 1 due up here. 1 ball, no strikes on Alcides Escobar. 1 for 3, singled at his last at bat. Showing bunt, and he'll take outside. 2 balls, no strikes. That's in there. 2-1 now on Escobar. 9 Royals hits in this game. The Tigers have 7, yet the Tigers lead by 3. Bouncing ball back up the middle, and that's going to find a hole into center field. Leadoff man is on. Well, here's your chance to win a Justin Verlander or Nick Lidstrom life-size bobblehead during our tin can auction. You can purchase 2 for $5 raffle tickets anytime prior to the end of the 3rd inning at the Tigers games on September 15, 16, and 17. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern Michigan, the Detroit Tigers Foundation, Detroit Red Wings Foundation, and affiliates of Illich Charities. Leadoff man is on. There's a strike called on Gerard Dyson. That's an even 10 hits now for KC. Dyson a single and a couple of strikeouts. Wave and a miss. 0-2.
Got to give the Royals some credit. They were trailing 6-1 in this game. They cut it to 6-3 in the last couple of innings. They have stressed out the Tigers pitching. They've had runners on base. They just haven't been able to cash them in.
Yeah, they had the tying runs on base in the 8th and forced the Tigers to bring their closer in the 8th inning. Dyson behind the count 0-2. And a chopper back to the mound. Benoit fires to second one. Quick relay, not in time.
I was hoping that Iglesias would simply get out of the way because he wasn't going to turn 2 there. Not with Dyson running down the line. And I did not want to run the risk of Escobar being able to take him out, who can really run, who got a good jump off the bag. Could have been dangerous there. He's such an athlete, though. Escobar didn't even touch him.
Here is Alex Gordon. 2 for 8 in his career against Benoit. 1 on, 1 out. Runner goes. Here comes the throw from Villa. Not in time. Stolen base. '31st of the year now for Dyson.
They really weren't paying any attention to Dyson. They basically gave him the bag. Prince was playing behind him.
Royals tonight so far have left 7 men on base, including the bases loaded in the 8th. Here's the 1-0. Driven toward left field. Straight dirt. And then there are 2 gone. It's going to lead things up to Bonifacio.
Here's our big boy play of the game, and it was in the 8th inning with the bases loaded. Joaquin Benoit trotted out of that bullpen of the Tigers and got a huge strikeout of David Lowe. That is a big boy play there for sure.
One more big out to get. Bonifacio stands in. And he chops one to second base. Backhanded by Infante. And out at first base.
Nice win here tonight by the Tigers against a team that has played them awfully tough all season long.
Magic number down to 10 for the Tigers as they beat the Royals 6-3. Joaquin Benoit comes on for a 4-inning save, and that magic number begins to whittle down. Tigers with a win in Game 1 in this series against KC. 6-3 your final. Back with a whole lot more from Comerica Park.